because it's an empowerment. You're giving me the voice. Probably some people are out there, they don't have the voice or the opportunity, but me coming here as a woman and speaking on their behalf, I think is a way of empowering us, and that's a start. And the fact that I just have to say and appreciate and recognize your platform, because whenever I go there, it says civic education, and that's something that we need in the Gambia. I mean, we come here as an independent mind. We speak our mind. We are not told what to say. We are speaking from our own perspective, our own view, and that is important. Some people will learn a lot from it. People like me, I go there when you have guests and I listen to it and I hear their views and add to my views. It's a plus. So I want to commend you all for doing a great job and keep it up. That being said, yeah, you're welcome. And that being said, being a woman, having 3 men on this panel, I don't know. Should I be scared?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
Right,
Sawaneh is on your side. Sawaneh is on your side.
And I am.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, then getting into the topic, women empowerment, I think is our right. We shouldn't even be asking for it. It should be our God-given right. Women to be viewed as partners in all aspects, in decision making, equal pay for equal works. I don't know if you guys know, but I did some research and I find out that women are paid less than men. If you apply a job, especially in the United States, I think it's been practiced in Africa as well. If a woman and a man apply for a job for the same position, probably they have the same qualification, you tend to find out that they pay, at least even if it's going to be 50 cents more than the woman, they do. They pay the man more because they feel like the man is capable physically, mentally, and otherwise than the woman. But in reality, that shouldn't be the case. If you look at America in the job descriptions or human resources, they keep saying, oh, equal opportunity. We don't discriminate. But in reality, the discrimination is there. Women are not put on the forefront. Let's go back to Gambia, for example. When you look at the sensitive areas in government, you have the foreign affairs, you have the security department, Minister of Defense. How many, I mean, I've never heard of it or seen it where they put a woman in those kind of positions, either because they underestimated us, or maybe they have doubts. What are we doing by putting women in these positions? And that alone, I think about it, I'm like, we should be holding those positions. We are mostly viewed as political symbols, if you ask me, because we are either put as yai compins because we dance. That's how they portray us. No, seriously. and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how they put us. So, I mean, not to go into details, but if you ask me about women empowerment, that's what I would say. They're not giving us what we deserve. They're not giving us our right, either because they're narrow-minded of not thinking what we can do or doubting our capabilities. And I think the door should be open for us to be able to express ourselves, hold positions that we deserve without even asking for it. But that's just to open the conversation and let you guys chip in, because I can be talking about women empowerment, giving examples all day today.
Very good, very good. So, Alice or Sam, you want to come in?
Yeah, I know Sam will say Alice again. I know Sam will say Alice again.
Yeah, go ahead, Alice.
Anyway, thank you very much, Lady Bah. I mean, you are very right. You know, in fact, we had one discussion about this thing, and the same words I was saying, and I'll say it again. You know, I mean, the whole thing, I don't know, it's a mentality that is not only for Africans. You can even see it in Europe, and as you mentioned, in US, where we think they are the most highest states. But I give you one example. Even here in Europe, even Swiss, you know, you see Swiss, they got lately that women can even go and vote. Imagine being in the middle of Europe, you know. I think it's a mentality or a politic, right? which is also fading, very slowly. Because look, in Germany too, those days, only the men should go and work and the women should take care of the household. So as time goes, you see that women are everywhere. Because one time the women said, no, what these people can do, we can do it too. Why should I be always at home washing dishes when I have the intelligence? And they discovered that also and opened the door. So women are one time all over. So that is a sign to show you that women can do more. And now we even have somebody leading us here as a woman. In some years back, nobody could even imagine that. So that's why I said it's fading. In the Gambia, I used to say we have a symbol for the outside world, having a vice president being a woman. But that is just a symbol to show the world that we are fair to women. But going deep, as you said, you'll see that it's just, what is shining is not all gold. I can understand you very well. If you go to certain places, you'll see that the salaries are different just because this person is a man. You'll see that the person is the bosses are men, things like that. And that has nothing to say because the women are in certain areas even better than men. Look at here, the person ruling is a woman and she's doing it very well, respected in the whole world. That's why I used to tell the women also that they never try to feel inferior and say, okay, this is something what only the men can do. That is also not helping the women. They should be empowered, one, but for them too, they should have the courage, and know that they can sometimes do it even better than men. So this gender on the Z difference, sorry, I'm speaking German again. This gender difference here doesn't mean anything. I had a sister. She was those days a welder. She in PWD. I don't know whether it's still there. So it was a sensation to see a woman doing that. So because it's not normal. So that's the way the women in the Gambia should also always try to surprise the men. They should never feel that they cannot. They can. We are all human beings. I came here. I was doing something with these white people what they never could imagine that an African can do. So I could have said, no, only they can do this. I cannot do that. So sometimes it's another mindset. Women can do that better. If you look at here, our accidents, you see the percentage, they are all men, not the women. And we used to laugh here and say, ladies cannot drive, but it proves from the statistics that only the men are causing these accidents. Just a little percentage are women. So now things are changing. You're having women pilots in certain cities. Look at this COVID-19. The most 80% of the scientists are all women. There are women who are saying, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's what I want to advise the Gambian ladies. They should not relax and say, okay, I can only go to the market and sell my fish. No, they are all talented. God gives the mind to everybody. They just have to use it, and they should never say, okay, just that we have to encourage them in our society, in the government, to push them forward, to let them know that they can do better, to respect them, and to be fair with them in offices and everywhere. Because how can you say you employ a man and a woman and you give the man just because of a man, giving more? What if the woman is doing more than him? So this mentality should also get out of the heads of the leaders, company owners, certain bosses, because I know that especially Africa, we have this mindset long time ago. As a woman, you should not talk to your man. You have to be careful how you talk to your man. You know, the man is always the head. The man is the one who has the right to say something. You know, so that's how we most of us grow up. So this mindset is still in women too. You know, they could observe that the mother had nothing to say. You know, they could observe that only the father says where to go and what to leave. You know, so people are grown up like that. So it's there to think that only the man has something to say. No, many women have also that problem because of this mindset long time ago in our heads, especially in Gambia, to change it. Because if you start to change it, then they say you are special. Why? You know, you are not special, but you feel that you have the right to say something. You are partners. Everybody has something to say. Not that being a partner, the man is the king, and then bedtime you are equal. You know, so this mindset needs to be changed. You know, respect from both sides, and then the society should also respect the ladies and know that they are our mothers, they are our coaches. You know, they guide us the whole time. That's what we are today. You know, we can only thank them. So, but when it comes to job, we try to push them back. You know, and ladies have a big role to play in our society. You know, even the economy. You can see when the ladies are ready, Gambia will go forward. But nobody is ready to give them the key. Why? Because they are women. So I think it's even high time now that the women come forward and try to show the men that they can push Gambia forward. So that's what I wanted to say about it. Sam, you can come in.
Thank you, Alice, for that insight. Sam, you can
Yes.
jump in.
Thank you both, Alice and Jimmy. Thank you so much for really saying what you said, and all really makes sense a lot. And like I said from the beginning, I am always in for women. I support women 100%, and I want to make sure that they have equal rights and equal opportunities everywhere they are. In fact, in my career in the United States here, um, some time ago, for my company, I was their training specialist, and a training specialist that teaches all the courses that are considered licensed to operate courses for our company. And among those courses is human resource. So I used to teach human resource, and I tell you what, very very interesting what I learned myself, and all the things that I used to teach people, because I've seen that in the United States there is something called the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act that was passed into law in 1964. And then they also have the ADA in 1990, which was an act for Americans with Disability Act.
Yes,
Okay,
I remember
these
that.
are very important. These are things that I used to teach, and I still know about these. I still have information about them. And those days, when my company hires people from colleges and universities, they come to my class for 1 week, and I spend a whole week with them, teaching them different courses in the retail industry and including human resources, because when you're dealing with people, you need to be able to manage people and treat them equally and fairly. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination against women, discrimination against people age 40 and older, and of course states equal pay for men and women. When you stated that, Jamie, I was even smiling. It's like you were reading my mind. So that's very very important for women to be paid equally as men. And so with that said, having that background and knowing what's in there, and I look back to Gambia, what happens in Gambia. That's why in my forum, Solutions for Gambia, when we started in 2018, there was a time we talked about this. 2019, I talked about it. And this year also, I reiterated the fact that Gambia government really needs a very good PMO, the person that is responsible for civil servants in Gambia. They need to have someone that has the human resource background, or at least surround themselves with someone with human resource directors that will oversee every department. Human resources is very, very important. I think every department needs to have their own human resource director that reports to the PMO. If PMO knows human resource, if the PMO doesn't have any clue about human resource, then the PMO need to have someone underneath them that is a senior director of human resource. I said this because um, I don't believe people are getting the equal treatment in Gambia, especially women. Women need to be protected from harassment. They need to be protected from discrimination. They need to be protected to make sure that they have equal pay, just like men do. If you hire a minister or a director of something in a position, and whether it's a man or woman, they need to deserve the same pay. So the job description should be the same. There should not be any difference. And since there's the same job description, um, women need to be compensated equally, and they need to be given opportunity and every opportunity to be trained and advance their career to be able to get to those top positions and be able to manage. In fact, in a lot of cases, when you look at corruption in Gambia, most of the time is men, not women. So women need to be empowered and given the opportunity to manage and help really shape that corruption and minimize that corruption. I won't get into corruption now because there's a lot of different ways that I can get into and and how to stop corruption. But I think empowering women, getting them there, will be a great help. So I like to see women uh, get into those roles. And it all starts with the PMO to make sure that the civil servants in the Gambia is first reformed and restructured. When they restructure them and you have human people with real human resource background, because I hear people say human resource, until when I heard that the director of food safety in Gambia fired 10 people the same time, and there was human resource there. I said, what are they doing? What is their job? How is this possible? How can one person get up one day and fire 10 people just like that? That's insane. That should not have happened at all. And this is where I said, well, the human resource, maybe they're human resource for something else. They don't know what really human resource is about. Because they should have stopped that. They should have been taking certain actions to make sure that people just don't lose their jobs just like that. Um, so and that's when I said, we still need that. We still not need that personnel management and a reform of our civil servants and having the right people that they're there that are going to help our civil servants service from recruiting, hiring, selection, sorry, recruiting, selection, hiring, and training to make sure that people get all of the tools and technology and information they need to get to their jobs and be able to also do performance evaluations on them on at least annually before they even get their pay increase. And pay increase should be done according to people's performance. Should be performance based, not because you favor so and so people or you like so and so because these are men, they are the ones that do all the work. No, there are women there that are more important than some of those men. So, and that are doing a better quality job for you, and they deserve that promotion. They deserve that pay increase, and we need to make sure that all of those are there. But because we're not structured that way, I go back to one thing is our legislative department, our people of our National Assembly should really look at the laws, the present Constitution of the 1997 Constitution, and even the next one coming. They need to make sure that there are very good laws in there that protect women. That's where we need to start with. Once the laws are there to protect women, just like that in the United States, then it'll be easier to follow the laws. And women will have the right to say, you know what? I did not receive an equal treatment here. I thought that position, I deserved that position. I have the qualifications. I should have gotten that position, but because I am a woman, that's why they gave it to that so and so. They need to have the power to follow that law and file a lawsuit to make sure we teach Gambians a lesson that women needs better treatment. Treat them equally. Give them what they deserve so that things don't happen, and that will be an eye opener for everybody. And at that point, moving forward, we will stick with the law to make sure that the law that our National Assembly members are going to put together is a law that's going to protect women forever. Yep.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so
very
much for that insight, Sam. I think you guys have spoken. I'm telling you, it remains like if there's nothing left in the tank, but I still have to come in to shake the tank a little bit.
You're welcome.
So women empowerment and gender equality, my contribution towards that, I'm going to look at it in 5 categories. First, I'm going to look at it globally. United Nations has been doing a wonderful job. 2010, they established UN Women Agenda, whereby they want to close the gap between men and women in terms of decision making in political spectrum and also economically. So the decision making when it comes to politics, we've seen a scarcity of women in politics in different positions of power. We haven't even established a woman president in the United States or in the Gambia. Many countries haven't even had women leadership. So the gap is big, and UN is very concerned. So they are putting a lot of resources to kind of empower women to make them understand they can do the jobs. They can do some of these high paid jobs. It's not only have to be for men. And perhaps sometimes women can even do a better job than men. So this is a clear fact. If you look at the president, the president of Rwanda, if you look at the cabinet settings, you see a lot of females there. No wonder why the success of that country, when sky roof, because women have been behind the scene and actually in front of the scene to make sure that decisions are made across the board. Because if you look at what Jemay was saying, women are being used when it comes to campaign, things that are voting. We go and tell them.
Women mobilizers and all those things. I mean, the list goes on.
Yes, they were the one dancing. We give them a couple of their money. Couple of dollars, and then they're all over the place. And then we are tagging on them to win, because you cannot win an election without tapping into that demography. So, but when it comes to representation, we say, oh no, we have to count them among the leadership. So that needs to really close that gap. I think that's very important. Secondly, I want to look at our culture. Our culture hasn't really evolved a lot. Even in the West here, some of us who are here, the women are reserved in a lot of things. So we want either because of the way the culture teaches them, or because of the norm that they're used to. If you look at even in this platform and other places where it's mostly men, if you reach out to women and then express, they will say, this research, how people gonna see them, so this norm has really, widened the gap. So I think this is something that we have to work on to understand. As long as you are respectful of what you are doing, what you are saying, nobody should be judging you. Even if they are judging you, they're wrong. Nobody should be judging you in that direction. So women need to be comfortable to do some of these roles, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to get these things done. Religion is another factor. I'm a strong believer of Islam, and the teachings of Islam. So I would not go far in that, because I don't know that
You
much,
can.
but I know there is also an inequality there. Uh, God knows best why, and but I just have to leave that as that. But all I'm saying is that it doesn't bar a woman from, practicing or working or doing things that the men do, as long as it is in alignment with the self-respect, wearing the right clothes, saying the right things. So women should be out there as well. So you come
Uh,
to like a workplace, and like Sam, yourself, Jamie, and Alas mentioned, the pay. This is where I have, my issue at. I think, you know, we women are very much treated across the globe, not only in Gambia, not only in Africa, but elsewhere. Yeah, you might not know, but if you go to that HR and see what the pay rates of everyone, you can be in the same position with a woman, and that woman will make less. I'm telling you, it happens. And whatever the reason is, I don't think it is the right thing. And there are a lot of laws in place right now to combat that. But Sam mentioned that in the past, I mean, like a few minutes ago, there are a lot of laws in action now that is to go and then kind of like evaluate that. But it is happening. So I don't know whether they see a woman being like not capable enough to do those kind of work, even though they're the same title with the men, or whether they think that maybe they are not quicker, or maybe they are not smarter. It must be something driving the force. But again, this is something that is happening behind the scenes. So just the same way, like I mean, white and black. If you are a white person, the same position with a black person, if the tendencies are the salary scales might not be right, it might not be the same. So this is happening, in the workplace. So I think we need to close that gap. And for things like sports as well, women has been not been barred, but has never been considered playing sport like soccer. But lately, the gap has been closing. My daughter plays soccer very well. I encourage her every day to go and play. I mean, I'm telling her this is not a men's sports anymore. It is everybody's sports. So I can see she's committed and she's doing it. I give her a SIM card and everything,
very
and
good.
she goes and play. And sometimes I play with her. One time actually she felt,
Very,
I kind of, like dribble her and she felt so bad. I didn't feel good about that. But then that is to show you that, anybody can do these things. So I think moving forward, we should sensitize and women should come out more and be confident that this life is for everyone. I mean, we can still maintain our culture, we can still maintain our rules, but let us not stop people, especially in the West. We come here, we bring our women here. Now we tend to like, try to like put all those restrictions in place. It's not gonna work because you know why? I mean, the statistics are shown. Women even perform better in class. I'm so surprised in all my college careers. I've been, the people that I've been competing with are mostly women. And when it comes to statistically, when you look at the average, like, scoring, the women are up there. And the number of students in the class are women are more. If you look around the classes in the United States here, the classes that I took, mostly are women. So I asked myself, where are the men? So there's a brighter and bigger future for our women. And again, let's support them and let's close the gender gap. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Sawaneh. I just
Yes,
wanted
back
to
to
ask,
back to Jemay. Jemay, I mean, you are this guest today, so you should
yeah,
actually
you have a lot to tell us
run
now.
with the show. But I have some questions for you, though.
Okay, yeah, no problem. But then I want to comment all of you, for being on our side. Of course, we need it. And you
Yes.
mentioned about HR. I mean, right now I'm studying HR because my philosophy is if you don't like the system, do something to change it. I went to Gambia last year. I applied for a job and I know I was qualified. I know I could have the job. But this person there, I'm not gonna say the company for privacy purpose, but I put in my application like every other person. I went through the interview and I know I got the qualification because I was confident with what I got and what I brought to the table. But a night after the interview or day after the interview, I got a call from the hiring manager, or the manager, they call it in the Gambia, asking me out for a dinner. And I said, oh no, I'm here on a short time. I'm here to, like trying to ask me out. But because I
Very
have
good at
limited time in the Gambia, I wanted to just see if I can put my foot at the door and see if I can relocate back to Gambia. But you're asking me out. I turned him down because I didn't have the time. And my policy is that I can't date a co-worker, neither can I date my boss, because it doesn't bring ethics in a job place. It doesn't last well. But then turning him down, I didn't know that was going to cost me my offer. Well, again, the next day he tried. He said, oh, you know what? You did very well. And that was the feedback from him after the interview. And some of those people that were on the panel, you did really well. And I think you fit for the job, blah, blah, blah. But because I turned you down for a dinner date, the next day you tried, it didn't work out. Guess what? The next minute I called to follow up on 3 days later, I called to follow up on the appointment or my job position. He wouldn't talk to me. Instead, they refer me to the secretary or whoever that was to talk to me. I said, no, I want to speak to him. He's like, no, he's busy. Anytime I call, he's busy. And then eventually this lady who is the secretary said, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, but that position has been given to somebody else. And I called this person, this manager person, and said, well, I thought I got the job because you gave me the feedback of being the outstanding person, candidate in that thing. Oh, well, like how men do. I'm sorry, guys, but this was my disappointment. Yeah, because I'm not going out with you. You denied me that opportunity. And when I came back to the US, I said to myself, you know what? I don't like what I see and I don't like what I experience. And if I have the opportunity right now to change it for the future generation, I am going to do that. And that led me to go back to studying HR. Right now, I'm doing HR. And my goal is if I study and master all this, I'm going to go back there again, apply for the same position or somewhere to be in the HR system and make those change where women will have the right. Yeah, they will have the voice and have the same opportunity as men are doing out there. And if you look at it, government has a role, a bigger role to play in this situation. I'm not saying enforce laws, put laws in place, but make sure they're enforceable laws which protect these women. I mean, we have sexual harassment going in office places, going everywhere around in the Gambia. I'm saying Gambia because that's our home. We want the change to come there. We need enforceable laws which protects these women. I mean, and even not from government level, let me start from the grassroots level. Our parents, our culture, like Momodou mentioned, our culture. People like me, you were given away to go get married at a very early age. You're depriving me of my youthful experience. Allow me to experience being a young girl that would make errors, learn from my mistake, and grow with that. But you deny me the growth of growing as a young girl. Instead, what they do, I don't know whether it's poverty, whether it's culture, but I think we all have an individual responsibility as women, as men, as parents. If you have a girl child, we are not only object of a housewife. We are not only objects of sex. We are not only objects of people that are just bearing kids. You give away maybe 15-year-old girl to go get married. It's either maybe because you I mean, we know, we all go through that. Man, I strive through school. I go to the uphill. Bansang, if you know, Bansang is full of hills. Boys were man, like men are my friend. I go with boys. I didn't have girlfriends because everybody look at me. I dress like a tomboy. I go with men. I go damay dem tahañ mata, damay jëm jaay ice ak ndox. I do after school, damay dem food for people and they pay me. Because at that time I was struggling to go to, my mom didn't go to school because in her generation, then women are not allowed to go to school. Her parents didn't allow her to go. So being born in that kind of society, I see my mom struggling to raise us as a woman. I'm like, I'm not gonna go through what you went through. I want to go to school. It's like, oh, well, if you want to go to school, then you have to struggle for yourself. But because I don't want to drop out, I decided to start doing labor jobs on the side, going with boys, doing all kinds of things. That made them say, you won't believe it. I go, dicks. I put the water, put it on the side because I'm saving it for the next day so I can go hunt those dirimos and go sell it at the market. And I sell it to these boys, they buy it.
You did
But
everything.
I'm saying that to say what I struggle in order to, get myself through school, educate myself, and empower myself. So if I'm in this position today, it didn't come easy. And I'm saying this to encourage other women or other young girls that are going through the same scenario. It's not the end of life. You can do a lot of things without even selling your pride, your body, yourself, in order to get you where you want to be. I went to Gambia last year. I was kind of a little bit sad. I'm disappointed, but I was sad. I see young girls who are going with old tubabs or older men using them for money. It's very, very sad. And I ask myself, what is our government doing? What is society doing? What are we doing? Did we fail our future generation? We have a lot to work on. And people like us, people like you, we all have a voice, we have a platform. Until we start educating and bringing out the taboos that people are avoiding to talk about, it will never change. We have to break the culture of silence, show people the way how to make life within themselves. Like I said, going back to the grassroots level, where you take a girl child. Credit to Jemay. Jemay brought this thing about free education for girls. When he was in power. But I don't know whether that's being continued. But if I am Barrow or the current government, they should continue that because that helps us as women. Even if we don't have the funds to go through school, that free education helps us. It shouldn't only stop at higher level. It should go up to bachelor's level. This empowers us to also educate ourselves practically and otherwise. But then if that is not there, I think that should be continued. And not only that, but we are limited to so many things when it comes to having a voice, civic education, laws that guide us or protect us. It is not there. Even if it's there, it's very limited. And again, imagine nga jël xale boo 16 years maye ko kooku physically yaramam bi is not ready for all that it has to endure. And that's where the law that comes as a reproductive health provide good health for women, because we go through a lot. Childbearing is not easy. You carry that child for 9 months, your body is not physically mature to carry that child. So if we are going to go get married at a very early age, make sure the guarantee is there for us to be able to deliver that child in a safe environment. But now
I think she's having signal problem. Lady Bah, I think you're having signal problem.
I think maybe the signal just, let's
It's
give it.
your AT&T again.
Huh?
It's your AT&T again in America.
It's not.
Anyway, I can
anyway. So see what
I can help her if she comes again. But she's raising very important points here, and I used to say that too. I think the whole thing comes from this cultural, religious, I don't know, mindsets that we are having. And she said something very, very, very sad, and this thing is known in the Gambia, that certain ladies, they can only come to a place when they already have a night with the boss, things like that. So that be in our society. What a dirty act, Then there is no doubt that we cannot proceed because you are employing the ladies who is saying yes without looking at their qualification. You understand? So the men doing that, practicing that in the government or any other agencies, they should stop that. That's no way out. There is no doubt that some ladies, they feel inferior because they know now when they want to fight to go forward, they are going to experience all these dirty things. And this is still existing. It's not an old thing. Maybe it's even worse today. You understand? So that's why it's not okay that only the men should be the bosses, because most of them are going to use this advantage against the ladies.
That's true.
That's something I find very sad. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's nice that the lady talk about it and that the people know. But I used to hear a lot of things going that way. You know, so some ladies they even feel inferior when they have the chance to go off because they'll think that other ladies will see that they have been sleeping with their boss all the time. You know, because that's the only way women can go for. You know,
No,
we need to,
that's typically very wrong. Yeah.
that's it. That's it. So this mindset, we have to change it in our society and respect the woman, you know. But I know our full
It's
responsibility
coming
in
back.
certain office.
It's coming back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know we have a lot of these fools sitting somewhere who always use their chance, you know. So in that manner, they are not going to look for a qualified person who is going to take the
Welcome,
Gambia forward.
welcome back. You were saying a very important topic, and you.
You're back, Mr. Lady Bah.
My apologies. I don't know what happened. Probably
Yeah,
my
it's your
internet
signal.
connection.
It's your signal. You know, America, they are AT&T. It's always making problem.
Yeah, but
I apologize.
do you want me to ask you before you continue, because you're talking about a very important point.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay, so I just wanna, Alas was just supporting your point that the ladies they move up by sleeping with their bosses. That's the opportunity. But what I want to add is the giving away of young girls at a younger age, and that's very important to talk about, because these people never had the chance to even learn about life, and then here you go, this minister or this big shot come from from somewhere, you know show the family that I can take care of you, and
Mhm.
you know they go ahead. And if you read my book, Dangerous Love, that's exactly what happened. The girl was about 15, 16 years old, and then the minister just came there and then show off, give the family money, want this young beautiful girl, the girl want to go to school, exactly what you're saying. That's what my book comprises of, Dangerous Love. So it is a very big problem. I've seen it myself, when I was growing up in Baribu, and it kind of hurt me, and that's actually what inspired me to write that book. So again, it is it I mean it is the interest of the parents, of course, because they feel like their daughter is in secure place, and financially they will gain, and then they will look prestigious and so forth. But at the same time, look at the lady, the girl. She never get a chance to follow her heart. She never get a chance to love somebody based on a nature, based on chemistry, based on anything you want, you ladies love men for. So we are robbing them from that, and that everybody has the innate, you know, right to enjoy that, to select somebody from your heart, even if it is gonna be, hey, if it works out or not, but at least this is what you're comfortable with, than to push you to something just because your parents think this is the right thing for you, or this is you're getting you're getting out of control, or whatever. But I think ladies should actually enjoy that. And if you read my book, you will see how that really affect the young lady. And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure you guys will check it out. But I'm glad you brought this topic, because I think we need to loosen on that. And some people did already. Some families are saying, okay, I will not force my kid or my daughter or my sister or my family member to this relationship unless and until they are matured enough and they are willing to do it based on the like of the other partner, the love that they developed. So, but at the same time, our culture doesn't encourage dating. So I don't know how we're gonna maneuver that. But if you allow these young girls to grow out of you know wildness, of course there will be many datings, and God knows what could happen. So that is the risk that we face. But Lady Ba, I'm pretty sure you can explain that for.
What happened to Jabba Jibong? I thought that's what they say. Matunga Jabba Jibong fire thing. That doesn't. Just messing with you.
Yeah, go ahead. I think Sam want to come and ask
Yeah.
you something. But where you are, we want you to continue there because a lot of our viewers are really interested in that topic. But Sam can come in.
Go ahead, Sam.
So,
Well, what I wanted to say is, I always like to speak from a solution perspective, as to what is the solution to this problem. The problem that she encountered in Gambia when she went to look for a job, and she has all the qualifications. She was interviewed and she was expecting to get the job, and the next thing you know is that the boss was asking her out, which was totally wrong. So how do we stop this, and what's the solution for this? The solution is just like what I proposed, and I've talked about this back in a couple of years ago up to now. And the solution is we need a civil service reform. And in the civil service reform, we need directors of human resource in every department. Okay. And in every department. That way, that director of human resource reports to the PMO, Secretary General, and PMO. They don't report to that minister. That means that minister cannot fire them. Okay. So they will have every power that that minister has, probably even more than that minister, because they can um, they are going to follow the law. Human resources are there to enforce the laws. All right. So what happened is, when you have that structure, you have a director of human resources in every department. That director of that department, for example, wants to hire someone. They have an open position. Well, first of all, the PMO and his team, from the PMO, Senior Director of Human Resources, coming down to all the Director of Human Resources, they should also have human resource managers and even human resource generals. Now, in that case, that team is the team that put together all the job descriptions for every civil servant. They should have a job description for every civil servant. So when there's a position that needs to be created, they are the ones, the human resources, the one that is going to post the position. They can advertise it on television, newspapers, Facebook, anywhere, every venue they can use. They are the ones that are also going to receive applications and review all the applications and go through process of elimination. The people that really have no clue in this job, or have no qualifications whatsoever, get them out of there. Put those applications aside, select the best 5 candidates that really meet the job description, call them for an interview. Okay, that the director of that department has nothing to do with this at that point. It's a human resource function. Human resource director and his team will call these 5 people, best 5 candidates for interview them, and go through a screening process, and then after the 5, they can say, here is the best 3. We've dropped 2 now. Here's the best 3. Invite the minister and do a panel interview, or the director of that department, do a panel interview. That director sits there. He is the human resource director sitting. He is a human resource manager. And here's another person, at least 4 people. You all sit down and talk to these 3 different people at different times that you gave them. They come for an interview. After each interview, give yourself another 15, 20 minutes to recap that person's. What do you know about this person? What do you think about this person? Take your notes and talk about that person. That person leaves, the next one comes in. Next candidate comes in. You interview the same questions, go through the whole thing. And then after that person leaves, you again do the same thing. Talk about that person. What do you all think about this person? Until you finish all of them. Then after that is done, at that table, there's nothing like, let's go and do this. At that table, this is where you guys, after you finish the last person, all 4 of you talk about all the 3 candidates that you just talked to today. Who is the best qualified? Not who we like, or who dressed well, who smelled good, who is beautiful, or who is ugly. No, who meets the criteria for this job? You talk about it, all of you agree is so and so. And then the human resource pick up a phone, not the director, not the minister. Human resources is the one that should pick up a phone and offer the job to that person that day. So there's nothing like, let's wait till tomorrow, let's wait till next week. No, that day, human resources pick up the phone and then call that person and offer them the job. They know how to talk, if you do human resources, you know how to say this, so they offer that person that job and give that person the time to consider and talk to his family and give them about 24 hours. Say, you don't have to give me an answer today if you're going to accept the job, but I need to know by tomorrow, so and so time. Be specific. That person, if they say, yep, I accept it, that's when the human resource director will let the other panel know that the person has accepted the job. That's the person we're going to offer the job. And then they set up the next step. When are they coming in for hiring paperwork, training and all of that stuff. Then it get published to the people. People need to know that so-and-so has been hired, so everybody can welcome that person in. That way you eliminate that director trying to harass this lady because she's beautiful. They want to go take her out first, go eat dinner with her and do whatever they want to do, and give them that option, or give them that fear of, well, if you don't go out with me, then you're not going to get the job. No, that will be eliminated. This is why human resources is important. And when it comes to performance evaluations, human resource does all of that. So, and in that way, again, if a director of something says, well, I want this person, human resource director can say, no, that person does not meet the qualification. This is the one we're going to hire because they follow the law. This person is following his interest. Human resources is following the law, and the law will always prevail. The law will always be the final decision. Okay, so this is what needs to happen. Even at ministers level, when ministers are ready to hire someone at director level somewhere, it should come from the PMO. The PMO should be interviewing that person with the minister and a panel, same thing. If director so-and-so wants to hire this person because it's his nephew, the PMO should say, no, it's not going to work. We cannot take your nephew over this person. This person has the qualification for the job. We need to look for the interests of our country. That's the way it needs to be. So that is what will eliminate this. That's why I said we need a restructure of that whole PMO and civil service in the Gambia.
Yep. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Lady Bah, you want to come in?
Sure, I can.
Continue.
Yeah, you raise a great point. Human resources. I mean, Gambia, I guess we have human resources either because maybe they're not trained to that level, or because maybe the laws is not just being enforced for them to be able to do their job. And they do this service of, oh, the we should do away with that culture if we want development in our country. And the areas you mentioned, I mean, we already identified the problems we are faced with. Probably now it's time for us to find ways of eradicating the solutions that could bring change to not only ourselves, but to our future generation. Because what we are doing today is going to have a big impact on our kids that are growing up tomorrow. Because I don't want my girl child to go to Gambia and have to experience the same thing I experienced in order to get a job or in order to make income. It should be her right. If she's educated and have the qualification, it should be given to her. She should not even be asking for it. And until today, like, you guys have this platform, and I just, again, will not be tired to commend you guys for this, because the change starts with civic education. Because all what we're doing here, we're giving out information for free, and other people are learning from it, of course. Today, if I share my experience to say, well, I went and what I saw, I don't like, and I'm back to make a change, and this is my first step of studying human resources to make a change, somebody else might say, oh, you know what, that's a good idea. Let me also start doing that. And if we have 4 or 5 people qualified human resources who already are exposed to these things and go back to Gambia, don't you think we will make a change? Even if it's going to be baby steps, we will still be able to effect some change somewhere. And that's one. And government has a bigger responsibility, in fact. When I say that they use us as political symbols, we don't want to be just yai companies. If you guys are very observant, I listen to all these politicians. Why is all that? If you hear that, know that they already started to brainwash us, for us to think like they're there for us. But in reality, because they're already trying to brainwash us to bring us to there, this dance, yeah, companies, women mobilizers. We don't need that. That's not where our, swing skills is not, it's not set to stop there. We also want to hold, but if they come and become, take office, all they do is say, oh, Samba is the Minister of Interior, Omar is the lead. Where are the women? We were there. Don't just give us vice president and you think that symbolizes all women. That's just second in command, but that's only one woman. What happened to the millions of women out there? We also want to hold key positions in office. I'm not saying take the whole cabinet and make us women, but at least make sure that we are balanced, because we are the ones dancing for you, campaigning for you, going to the grassroots level for you. They go to all these urban areas and talk to these local women. Hey, yéen soo leen lii ñu indi saaku maalo ñu indi diwlin ceeb xam nga ñun pël yi lekka rek la ñuy def. And if I see that saaku maalo, I'm gonna jump on it. I'll vote for you without even knowing what your agenda is. No, I don't poly, but I know for sure these are things that they do to brainwash us, and I think we should do away with that. Give us what we deserve. Give us what we own. And individual responsibilities. Like I said, if you don't like something, make a change, work towards it, use your voice, use your platform. Well, I guess in women, sometimes we underestimate ourselves. I mean, in as much as I blame other people, I think the blame also is with us. And the person, the first thing that comes out their mouth, it annoys me. You're suppressing yourself. Don't do that. When people see me, some of my friends, they hide because they don't want to associate themselves with me, because they're shy to associate with me. But I'm a kind of person, I mean, I have this Senegalese blood in me. I just don't care. I'm not going to do anything to shy away from that. We have to do away with that culture of shyness or that culture of depriving yourself of your right. Whatever it takes, as long as it is legal and it's right for you to get there, my dear sister, do it. Because empowerment starts with ourselves. It starts with within before anybody else can give us that position or respect us for that. And when I say quality education, I'm not only talking about, John Yurek free education to bachelor's level. Make sure you put qualified teachers. When I went to Gambia, again, I like to reference myself because I've lived all these kind of scenarios. And it's important for people to share this. When I went to Gambia, I went to visit in Bansang. And I went other areas. I was invited to make a speech in this prize and speech given at a school. It was a high school. I went there to give a speech, but guess what? I would not say I was disappointed, but I was sad. I don't like to use the word disappointed because I've seen people that taught at that school, that are teachers at that school and still teachers at that school. Those are I went to school with them and they dropped out at 9th grade. I'm not saying they're not smart. I'm not saying they're not qualified, but I think they would have furthered the education more before becoming a teacher, because there's more for them to learn before they can transfer knowledge to another person. Because if you take a dropout and bring that person to be a teacher, like they use the term unqualified teacher or qualified teacher, but it's still a teacher. I don't differentiate that category. Seriously. If you're going to be teaching my child, I want to be sure that you know what you're teaching. You have to be educated yourself before you can educate somebody. Because otherwise, it's a recipe for disaster. Because if that child learns anything from that school, from you, probably you're still learning yourself, and then want to utilize that to the outside world, it's an embarrassment to our country and to ourselves as people. We need, quality education. We need to train our teachers that we feel like are able to transfer. Knowledge is very powerful. If you tell me today, Lady Bah, oh, you can handle a gun and do anything with it. If you don't tell me the nitty-gritties or break it down for me, I'm just going to handle a gun and shoot all of you here. So I'm just giving that as an example to say, it's not just passing knowledge, but make sure you know the knowledge that you're passing on to the other person. And that on the side, I went to the hospital. I like to do research when I'm on the ground because I want to know what is exactly happening in my country in case I go back to make change. I went to the hospital and again, so people that I grew up with being nurse, some of them call them auxiliary nurse, some of them call them nurse. You're prescribing medication and all. I know we don't have the resources, but let's not also endanger the lives of our citizens. If you're there and then you're prescribing medication for me, you're giving me injection, and I do know we know each other personally that you have not even gone to medical school, you have not had that training. How can you administer certain things to somebody else? Not because we don't have the resources, I get it, but make sure you provide skills. That's the solution. Provide skills and maybe make it free if they don't have the funds for it. Train them, empower them, provide the tools for them. And that is government responsibility. But you cannot just take somebody just because you guys are in need or you need more hands and you don't even try to do any background check on them. See their qualifications or see what they can do. I mean, somebody might not even be educated, but they are street smart. They have the knowledge, they have the skills, and all they need is just to sanitize them a little bit and push them and give them that manpower for them to be able to show their talent and skills. But all those are things, I'm sure if I am to elaborate on all of it, we will spend the whole day here. But I think these
I
are
know.
just key points that I can throw in there to say these are some of the things we could do to make change, at least.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you,
Right,
Lady
thank you
Bah.
very much.
Alas, if you want to say something, but you already mentioned one thing about like qualifications and having to have the right people with the right skills. I think that's very important. If you if somebody who hasn't even get the qualification and want to administer some medical procedure on you, definitely you will, even though you're sick, you will be like, no, I mean, I don't think this person has the background. You'll be scared. That's why during this COVID time we see a lot of people not going to the hospitals, and then they're getting, I mean, the people died from their homes because people are scared to go to the hospital because the hospital are not they don't have not only skillful people, but they don't even have the medical equipment. And this is what this is what the government need to do. Like I think we cannot talk about all these things without talking about the government. And the reason why we mention the government, because they are our leaders. Okay, the money comes to them, and then they decide where it goes. So if they decide, if they, misplace priorities, that's when we run into situations like this. And it's nothing to do with any, political thing, but it's just the mere fact. Our governments need to know where, the resources need to be, and then making sure they get skillful people. So having to go, to experience teachers that are unqualified and not qualified, um, hey, I mean, like I know there's a process to it because you have to go to Gambia College to get to become. I'm not familiar with how teachers
Right, right.
recognize, but I
Be
know
qualified.
if you, in order to be a qualified teacher, you have to do something different from the non-qualified teacher. So again, your story of seeing the same people at the same school and having to be there. I mean, it's not with the same education level that you left them with. It's not gonna help. So I just want to add my 2 cents to that. I think that observation is very important. We need people to be upgraded. If they are not upgraded, let's relocate them to something else. We need skillful people in our institution, in our medical, in our medical system, and in elsewhere. So I just wanna, add to that. Alas, you have something to say?
And I give him, he wants me, once in a while he'll tell me, this is what I want to focus on, this is what we are focusing on, and I'm going to get a test on this.
I
Can
think I
you
froze. I
make
also
some
froze,
audio
like Lady
in
Bah.
so and so area, and I'll make them, so but just to help
You,
him.
you have to watch your signal.
But
That is your
at the end of the
AT&T
day,
as usual.
what Sawaneh was saying, the government, that's why I was pointing fingers at the PMO. PMO is the head of the civil service. This, if they have human resources, we wouldn't be hiring wrong people, putting them in the wrong places. And this is why up to now, I'm not gonna blame what passed. The past, the world is evolving and every day things are changing. We need to be moving forward, not backward. So what happened in the past happened in the past. Now we know, up to today, people in Gambia, I hear people saying something and spelling something, they say H. H is not the word, it's H. Our teachers should not be teaching people saying H. That's not English. It should be it should be H. So I see people still pronouncing things the wrong way, saying things the wrong way because we have the wrong. Don't take this wrong. Yes, we do have the wrong people teaching sometimes, but those teachers did not have the right training and skills to get to where they need to be. So when they learn from their old teachers saying H, they should correct them today and say it's not H, it should be H. Anywhere that there is an SH in the spelling, Gambians are not pronouncing it correctly. Anywhere there is TH, anywhere there is CH, I mean, things like that, we can't just say it. We just can't say it. You leave Gambia, you go somewhere else and you speak English, they don't even understand sometimes. You see people that don't understand what you're saying because they've never heard it that way before until you spoke. So we need to teach our people the right way by having the right mindset, the right people with the right training also. That's why it all starts with the head of the civil service. PMO needs to have human resources that will help them screen and get the right people in the right places so our people and our children will get the right education so they can grow up with that and be able to compete at world level, be able to compete there, not just go stand somewhere and just like you said, Miss Bah, you went to school and you try to avoid the right word, embarrassed or so or disappointed, but instead you use sad. Yes, it is sad. It is sad. It is true. It is sad to see something like that in this 21st century. We have teachers teaching students. We have our children learning stuff in the wrong way, and we're not corrected. And we're going to go with that. And those people are going to grow up like that because that's the only thing they heard. They've not heard anything else somewhere. So they're going to go up with that. And unfortunately, it's wrong. And the solution to it, again, the right PMO, the right government system, and the proper tools and technology and training that people need to be able to function the way they need to function. And that's how we can move the country forward.
You
Thank you,
forgot, we
sir.
need you back in Gambia, you and Alas back in the teaching field so we can
Oh,
have
no.
going to.
Yeah. But for
Exactly.
me,
That's
for
what
me,
I was gonna
it's a
say. I mean,
problem.
they seems to have the experience.
Well, I'm
Ah,
supporting
but for me,
at least
you
there's a
can see
student
that
in
my
the Gambia
English is no
college
more
that talks to me and I help him with certain things, especially in human research. Someone that's studying human research, when he told me that, and I was very happy to help him and really, I mean, record some things for him and send it to him so he can use them for his studies. So there's nothing better than this: civic education, educate people, and that's what we do. And in my forum called Solutions for Gambia, that's what I do: educate people, and learn from people as well. I'm open-minded. I want to learn something that I don't know, so
Yeah.
it's
So, the problem we have with our education, we talk about it very often that we need a curriculum reform in the Gambia. That's why we always come back to such topics. Once that is not done, I mean, the reason can be from anywhere, especially what you were explaining, H instead of H. You ask ourselves, who are teaching now in the Gambia? Where do they come from? And what is their accent? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. So if you see that the last time somebody sent me a message, I think I even sent it to Mr. Sawaneh, the lady is complaining, you know. So you can understand that our curriculum, the teachers, I mean, you just name few Gambians, but if you look, 90% are from the coast. For them, Gambia is a stepstone. That's where they come and try to be a teacher, whether or not, because they have the certificates. These people can get the certificates wherever they want. They are all PhDs. They are all degree holders, even if they can't. And that is something what the Gambia government don't even control. They see the paperwork push them there because for them, they are happy to have this chance also to be teachers. So you'll see that these kids, the students, will miss one, a way of pronouncing, because these people have their own accent. Two, the Gambia itself, because these people cannot teach them anything about Gambia. So that means the students don't know anything about where they are. That's the next disadvantage. So we talk about it. That's why I always talk about school reform. I mean, these people can stay where they are, they can do their job, but there must be somebody to look after all these things. Whether the right teachers are at place, because it's very dangerous when this person is not teaching the students the right thing, because they are the future. So that means they'll stay there, even be a president and don't know what to do because they missed it somewhere. So that is very important, even for the government, to make sure that there is at least equality. I know it's a poor place. Maybe we cannot have like St. Peter's those days. Every subject the person was hold from outside the world. For example, statistics, they hold the India, Pakistan. So that's where St. Peter's Technical High School started. The best education you got. You know. So, but that costs money. You know. So when we talk about prioritizing something, Mr. Sawaneh just mentioned, I, as a government, I will do it differently because I know where Gambians are having problems. Not roads, not big roads, not big bridges. Because you have to start with, if I build a bridge or I build a very nice highway, can the poor person use it? Can the poor person get money to take a taxi to use it? So if you cannot answer these things, then try to think where your people are having problems first. I mean, you can do, because every country want to look like Dubai. It's okay. That's Gambia. And we know that it's a poor place. We are having, money problem. That's what we say. Normally we should not, because it's just, the situation is just a product of corruption. I used to say every day. And that's the reality. It's just a product of corruption. Anywhere you have a problem. If you follow it, you'll see that there is money missing. Where's the money? The director built his villa and buys homes in Senegal. So it's always the same case. So unless you have maybe one like Mr. Sawaneh as a president who's going to say, hey, you know, and try to regulate these things. We are still fighting for the anti-corruption bill. It's a shame that these top people, nobody try to take any step because it's not their interest. You understand? Another interest, they'll try to jump in, but that should benefit them alone, not the Gambia. So we have very little people thinking about the Gambians and the Gambia. It's unfortunately like that. But you
Okay.
see, all these problems we have, it's from there. And again,
Okay. I
what
have
Mr.
Alice.
Bassett, Lady Bassett just now also mentioning, I just wanted to say something about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Alice, when you finish, I have somebody who has a question. Okay.
for me, or Mr. Okay, then let us leave that person comment.
Okay, you're done. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Miss. This is Balde. This is the one and one only one Balde. Ibrahim Balde.
Oh, Mr.
Come in.
Balde, welcome.
Okay, thank you very much, Lady Jemay, Sam, and Alex. I miss the company. I've been away, but it's like I'm enjoying the debate. It's very interesting, so to speak. And with Jemay talking about women's empowerment and what is happening in Gambia. I think she's very right. In the Gambia, we have a long way to go when it comes to women empowerment because we see them as like you said, I didn't follow it from the beginning, but like the point where you are talking about women as cheerleaders, that's very frank. Political parties like use them for cheerleading and trying to converse, make them make the whole thing exciting because women are very exciting and very vibrant when it comes to supporting issues of national importance. So I think this issue of sexual harassment and at workplaces has been going on for a very, very long time. And I think it's high time we try to, confront the issues with a view to resolving them. I look at it from two dimensions. One, a lot of men see women as the weaker sex, like in terms of qualification, in terms of competence. So maybe the shortcut of getting the job is doing the unusual way. What is the unusual way? That is trying to hang out with you because they think you are not qualified. In that context. Okay. Sometimes the advances can come from women because I'm sorry to say when they don't have anything to offer on the table, the best thing for them to do is because they are susceptible. In other words, they need the job badly, so the man also will not look the other way. He may succumb to the woman's advances. But here, if the woman is really competent, and even if the woman is not competent, and the man is really serious about the job and what you expect the company to do in terms of returns, you should not really take that egoistic tendencies by trying to look the other way and using the woman as kind of an object for your own selfish means. So this is really a problem, and it's unfortunate that a lady of Ngerr's pedigree happens to go through this. This is very sad, and I think man ought to have known that you are not the type who should really fall for that kind of crap. So to moving to my point on the reforms, and like Sam said, with regard to the civil service, with regard to making sure that hiring is done swiftly with a view to resolving the issues. Because the issue of, like Sam said earlier, waiting for next week, these are all time delaying tactics that the applicants will be willing to find out who is hired, who is not hired. And the tendency of corruption creeping in is always there. Sometimes it might not necessarily be women. Sometimes even men can also be used as pawns, like as bargaining chips. Because, for instance, we don't have in the Gambia cases where men follow men. It is not, it's very unusual.
Thank God.
But the thing is, yes. What the issue here is sometimes money can go around under the table. Like for instance, if someone is hiring Sam's son and Sam is in the US here and Sam has money, Sam can give his son money to give the manager for the son to be hired. That can happen in the case of men. Very rare. But for women, honestly, what Jemay said is the truth, and I really commend you guys, for bringing this interesting topic and for trying to change the face of New Gambia platform by bringing a woman. It has always been men. So it's good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Balde, and we look forward, for your more contribution, more, please.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Balde.
For me, I just wanted to say, Lady Bah, a big respect that your reaction. That's why it's good you tell the ladies also that they should also react like that, so that our men will know that, okay, you cannot do this to every girl, as they used to think, because you need the job, so you have to be ready to do everything, which is false. Nobody like that. But again, the government, as Sam said, should also hire some people who are after these things. That's what I'm saying. What I was trying to say. Just building bridges and roads and forgetting these social problems. I don't know is the right thing. You have to prioritize something also. You can build your bridges and so development, no problem. But make sure that your people are also going to need it or use it for their daily life and the society, our social living, because there is no need. I built the biggest airport, the biggest roads, and so schools don't have, students don't have somewhere to sit. You go to hospital, you don't have medicine. So there must be something wrong. So that's where we come back to your school system. If you have such teachers teaching our people sitting in offices to make such important decisions, for our society, so how would it be? So you can see how everything is going. Many people don't even know the use of anti-corruption. Where? They don't know the effect. That's why nobody is serious about it. They don't even know that the problem we have economically is from there. So to get people who know that, you have to educate them and place them in the right position also. Or if you take one from primary school or secondary school and make him the minister of economics or something like that, you think, or an advisor, which is very dangerous because if you take somebody to advise you who is not well educated, not well informed, not socially informed, to be your advisor, that is catastrophic. We can only say. But you as a head or I don't know leader, you should know that. I think every small kid should know that. But the problem we have is always who was fighting for me when I was making election, whose father knows me, or, these are our problems. Once we start with that, you will see that after all offices are with false personnel. And you mean it's a country to go forward. Where? Because the people try to take always their best from the society and place them in the places so that they can move everything. But if you take the false person to move you, where are you going? You should be lucky that you move an inch, but instead you go back. So as a head, I think it's also something to realize and see that. And the bosses, such bosses, they are not educated because when they were educated, they know that I should not oppress a woman to give her a position. So this is showing you the lack of and the ignorance, you know, because when you are educated, you know automatically I will employ somebody with the education because I need somebody to move the company or the government forward. But if this person is not educated enough and not civilized, we'll try to use that as a tool. So that is for me ignorance. So how can you take such people in very important places? This is something we have to also ask our government to take a good care. As Sam said, we hire at least people who are observing this level, observing the social life of the women. Are they treated good? What do they want? But as you mentioned, they come only before election, talk about their campaigns, and after you'll see that they put other people in certain posts and leave the women behind. Good that the women realize that themselves. That's why I said at the beginning, the women should not feel inferior and think only the men can. When the politicians come again, you tell them, okay, I am Yai Compin, I'm going to make sure that you are voted. But before we do that, we have to agree on certain things. Don't always try to make that person go forward. Make yourself also go forward. But the women have to get this voice. They should be informed that they also have the same right. They are Gambians. They are citizens. We are living in a democratic place. Once they know it, maybe they'll try to move. But because many of them were not in the school, they don't know also these things. I mean,
Yeah.
good that the platform is there. Maybe some people we can reach some people to help them. But you are there, Lady Bah. I have a big respect for you because you did something what is very rare. You understand? You should be proud. Many ladies will just say, okay, I'll come, and if you don't mind, they'll even pay the dinner just to get the job. You know, I think you have a very good parents who show you also the way, and you have dignity. You have to. That's a big example. I have
Thank
respect for such people. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Lady Bah, before we wrap up, I just wanna throw this thing out there. That is women with power. Okay, there are two things to this. You put women in power, definitely you get the job done, because mostly they are very serious with what they do. They are strict. Okay, when you put them in position, they execute. But there's always a but to anything. When you put women in power, the way, and I've seen this in my job place and other place, the way they handle the power, sometimes they become so obsessed about it. And then I've seen this in my firm. I've had bosses that are women, and I've seen like some women even under them feel pressured because of the way the woman with power. You always often hear that. So it's a different experience with men. Now, how do we work on that? How are these women gonna work on that? Let's say you get, because women always want to say that, okay, I'm in power because I'm a woman. Let me force it more so that it can be felt that I am man enough. So how can they tone it down to manage better or lead better without having to have that, that's something that would scare the hell out of people? If you can answer that.
Sure. Make sure they're secure, they're not feeling threatened. Women are that kind of, I describe ourselves as people, when we feel threatened, we bite. So if we're not feeling threatened, I mean, I mean, okay, this is how I see it. Some men, if they are being led by women, they have they look at us low. And the moment we sense that, we feel it, we will also bring our girl power out. I mean, this is in any situation.
Right.
We will show that, well, we can bite. So don't cross that line. But if a woman is feeling comfortable and secured and not threatened by a male figure, I'm telling you, she will move mountains to make sure that there is success in that place. But the moment she feels threatened, or she felt like, you know what, me being a woman figure is being underestimated or is undervalued, we will bite. And that's the just short description or answer to that. So just make sure you don't undervalue us. When you help, give us what we deserve. Like I said in the beginning, it should be our right, give it to us. But if you're a man and you want to use your manpower on us, it can be a hostile environment for all of us. We will use our power, especially if we have it. And women are very good at abusing their power. If we know we have little power and you want to take that away from us, we will go to any length to make sure we safeguard that. Because naturally with us, we've lived in this generation for how many years? We have always been deprived of our right. We have always been down there, seen as sex object by other men or other companies or other people. So if we have that little chance of leading, especially a man, come on now, we
You
will
love it.
do everything we can to safeguard that.
That
Really,
brings me
you're
to my
right.
second question, Sam. Before you come, we want this woman empowerment. We want women to have voice. We want everything. Now, there's a saying,
Mhm.
you cannot have two bosses in the house. Okay.
True.
Now, how is that gonna work? You have women so empowered now, and then now you have one person has to lead. We always say a man is the head of the household. Okay, he can make decision in collaboration or consultation, whatever you want to call it, with a woman. But somebody in every place, somebody has to lead. Now, if we empower enough women, which is what we are trying to do here, to the point, how can we have these two leaders, work together in the house? Somebody has to lead. Do you mean a woman should lead the
Yeah,
house now, or
yeah.
how is this gonna happen?
So
It all depends. Go ahead, Alice.
now I just wanted to help the woman here. Mr. Sawaneh, that was our last topic. You know, I used to say, I don't believe about numbers, 50%, 30%, 80%. It's equal giving and taking. You know, if you do that, know that the relationship will keep long. You know, never try to see your wife below, or the wife should never see you below. Because if you love somebody, I mean, when we're talking about love, not numbers, it's natural that everybody respect the other and everybody help the other. You know, once you bring these numbers, it's no more love, but it's business. You know, we have to differentiate that. You know, and the mentality that women should always be up, you know, and try to mix that with religion, things of that nature. It's not the fact. Because if you see the Arabs we used to follow, they put their wives as pedestal, you know, up, you know. Again, that's why many people don't know. Arabs, they never treat their wives like we do. Their wives, they don't even want their wives to work. That's why they always employ a maid from them. Like these Filipinos and so always foreigners, so that the wife don't even go to the kitchen. That's how Arabs treat their women. So these are things what many Africans don't know. They think a Muslim should always have the voice and always dominate. I'm a Muslim. No, even our prophet, see, he loved all his wives and took them as, you know, and that is when we say a religion, when we are Muslims, we should not see them as, you know, small objects, you know, because that's not what the religion say. We have seen it from our prophet, you know. All the wives were queens. And the Arabs today, the same thing. They don't even want their wives to touch anything. They employ so forth. So, do you want to tell me we are different Muslims in Africa now, or we don't understand? You understand? So, for me, I always try to focus when there is love, there's nothing like 50%, 70%, or this person has something to say or not. You know, only if we try to bring our primitive cultural thinking, because it was those days like that. You know, only the man has to say something, but things has changed. That's why many women feel also inferior. They always think women are supernatural. We solve every problem. We are very wise. We are, you know, we are powerful and so on. But they are having the same qualities, which they have to know themselves. Now, women are trying to know that. We can also do this. That's why women are coming in more, uh, uh, how to call it, beros, professions, you know, which they try to enact. It was there, but it's just a mindset. They feel inferior, that they have nothing to say. Even in the Gambia, you see a lot of houses, the woman has nothing to say. If anything comes, we say, wait till my man is there. I mean, it's okay, it's a respect. But, you know, we have to tell them, look, you can do it also. Give them this chance. Then you will see how they come, you know. I used to do that. I used to tell them, look, feel free, you know, and don't be ashamed of me. Tell me everything, because that's the only way you can know their problems too, you know, through communication. But if I threaten my wife that she's even afraid to tell me her secret and try to go outside and discuss our problems because she cannot communicate with me because she's very afraid of me, that's where the danger is. People outside will know even your secret. And you cannot blame her because you don't give this person the opportunity, the chance to communicate one to one with her because you feel that you are 70 and she's 50. These mentalities, you know. No, I mean, thank you very much. Before I
Thank
take the
you.
whole show.
Thank you. I think Sam we're gonna wrap up, but let either Sam go or Lady Bah go first.
I can wrap up my part here.
Okay.
And then we can end up with
Today
Lady Bah and
it's
then
been a very interesting day, and Lady Bah, definitely we appreciate your time very much. A great topic to discuss here. At the end of the day, I'm going to stick with what I started saying is human resource is very, very important. Um, in any community, in any organization and in any government is very, very important, because human resources really also hold leadership team accountable to make sure that they follow the law. The law is all I care about. The law. The law is the law. It doesn't matter if you're the boss and your head is up as high as the sky. You know, it doesn't matter. You're the boss. You're the boss. But still, you're a human being. You're gonna treat everybody the same. So human resource makes sure that even the leaders really have leadership skills. You know, they train them on leadership skills, what you can or cannot do. And if you're going wrong, they will tell you, no, that's not right. You want to fire somebody, they want to ask for evidence. So human resources is the police officer in town. It's just like the police officer at work. You know, you want to fire somebody, you're the boss. They ask you why, what happened, what's the reason, why, what are the evidence, what evidence do you have, what's the reason you're going to fire this person? If it's legal, they will let you do it. If it's not legal, they'll say no, you can't. Period. That's the human resource job. That's why they are very powerful. They are the police officers at every work environment. You know, if Gambia is not doing that, I know we're not doing that in Gambia. We're not there yet, but we need. That's where we need to get to. So people also don't lose their job because the boss doesn't like you, or because, and also especially women don't lose their job because the boss has been trying to ask you out so many times and you won't go out with him, and he ends up finding a way to get you out of that. That's not going to happen. When there's a human resource person or director in that place, that will never happen, because that person is going to tell you, no, it's not going to happen. It's against the law. Period. They have to, you know, protect the state. They have to protect the state from lawsuits. Okay, from illegal terminations or unlawful terminations, and that's why again they play a very important role. And in fact, I was watching a video where Ahmad Bah was talking on a mic, and somebody came across in front of him and was doing something, and he reached out and he spanked that person in the back and pulled him and pull. That's harassment. If I were the president, I'll fire him that day. I will fire him that day. That's harassment. You cannot do that to a person. A leader, a minister pulling somebody's shirt and hitting him to tell him to stop. What right does he have to do that? You see, these are all because they don't know. We have the people that don't have the know-how, and we have the people that don't know what they can or cannot do. Those are things that you cannot do. So let alone mistreating women. Women, I'm always behind women, 100%. I want them to get every right they deserve. I want them to be treated equally. I want them to be paid equally, just like men. That's what they deserve. That's what they deserve. So anyway, I'll end it here. And one funny thing, I'll say one more thing, and I'll leave it at that, is going back to our teachers, you know, they need that training. I'm not going to blame them. I used to be a teacher, but I never said H. I can't even say it right, but I have never taught anybody to say H. I always say H. Okay. But there's a lot of words that our teachers need to be trained to pronounce correctly so they can teach our people right. Even the word first. A lot of people in Gambia say fest. There is a letter R in the F-I-R-S-T. First is pronounced as first, not fest. People say fest, and they leave the R out there. R should be pronounced. It's not silent in first. So again, all
Get
of
us
those
some English lesson here, right?
When coronavirus came in place, and I hear even on the radio people saying they have to go to quarantine. It's not quarantine. It's pronounced as quarantine. You see, these are things that somebody needs to be able to help and correct people as we go. So we adopt the right way of saying things and move forward. So when we leave Gambia and we go somewhere else, we can speak correct English with people. So anyway,
thank you, Sam. We're not only getting civic education, but we're getting, English education here.
English teacher today.
Thank you, Sam, for that insight. Lady Bah, you have the final words. I've seen some people type that, try to get Lady Bah again. She understands these issues. So that is so wonderful of some of
Appreciate
our
that.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, and a good topic, darling. Well done. Very important. Somebody send you that, Basi Sane. And you have somebody also, some Balo name. Very important guy topics, guys. Big thanks to our sister, Lady Bah. So you can see this all in our platform, and the people have been very excited. I want to
Thank
say
you.
that you are very passionate about this topic, so we're gonna have to arrange another time to dig in other stuff also, that issues that concern women. But
I
I
appreciate
have a
that.
final word, and don't forget to answer that question that I just.
To answer that question, I think it's all about communication and dialogue. And again, I will use myself as an example. I have a son. I'm training him how to treat women. I mean, not to blow my own trumpet, but this could be a tip for other women out there. I know I'm a young woman training somebody. He has been around women all his life. So I need to put some key things in him because every woman wants to be treated in a different way. Every woman has their own difference. So for men to understand that it starts from the grassroots level, and that's from your home. How you treat your mother, your sister, and other people is the same way you're gonna treat that woman out there. My son, we have this routine in our home whereby he will write a letter to me every week. Even though we live in the same house, I want him to write a letter to me and tell me what he feels about me. And all of them are positive. He will sometimes tell me his inner thoughts about how he feels about me. And I appreciate that because it's a good feedback for me. Likewise, myself, we are always in constant communication, whether that is verbally or through writing. And we show love to each other because I want to show him that I might be your mother, I might be the boss of this house, but you also have a right. The way I treat you, I want you to treat me the same way. Know that I am not just your boss or your mother, but I'm also your best friend. I want you to communicate to me with respect, and I give you the same respect back. Like in the morning, I will wake up and he'll be like, "Oh, mom, I made you coffee." And it's already on the table. I know that for sure he's already got me coffee or got me tea. I'm training him to know this is the way you treat a woman. When we are out to go out, he will already take my handbag and hold it for us to go outside. And when we're at the store, he will try to carry heavy bags when he doesn't even have the energy to do it. But he would do it, try to show me that, Mom, I'm here for you. Because that's how I taught him at home. There was a time we went to Walmart and a lady asked him to help a stranger because I told him don't talk to strangers. But because I didn't break it down or go into details, and this is very important when we talk to our kids, make sure we make them understand exactly what we mean. I said, you know what? Always try to help people when you can. But also, I told him not to talk to strangers. So these two are kind of conflicting. We went out to the store and this lady was struggling with her grocery and was like, "Oh, hey, can you help me carry this to the cashier or register?" I was on the other aisle. So before I turned around, I didn't see my son. He was gone. What he went, he took that bag for that lady and went and helped the lady to go to the register. And I was wondering, okay, where is he? Where is he? He has already gone to help that woman. But when he came back, guess what? And I started yelling, "Why did you leave my side?" Guess what he told me? He said, "Mom, you told me to help people when I can. And this was a lady who needed my help." But again, I said that that's true. I couldn't argue with him, but then I said that is true. But when you're doing it, make sure you ask for my permission so I can see where you're going and who you're doing it. So sometimes, like it's just like a girl child. When you tell a girl child, "Oh, don't sit on a man's lap or don't sleep with a man, you get pregnant and all," we don't break it down for them. And that's all women empowerment. That's where it starts. We need to communicate constantly. We need to relate our messages clearly. And for my son too, another tip I want to give is like when summer breaks comes, I make sure he washes the dishes, clean around, but it's not for free. He has a spreadsheet where he logs in his time, how many time, how much minutes or hours he spent on washing those dishes, because I pay him for it. I told him that you have to earn your money. It's not going to be free. So he does that every summer. He knows he has a job, unless he goes away for summer holidays or so. But otherwise, any holiday or break he gets from school, He knows he needs to wash the dishes, maybe help me clean around the house, but he's very smart. He will go and lock his time. Mommy, okay, I spent 30 minutes doing this. And then I know, okay, I'm paying you $3 or $6 an hour for doing this. So if you have less than an hour, you have this. So we do all the math, and he knows he has to earn his money. Right now, he has his piggy bank. When school opens and he needs to go back to school, I don't buy his supplies. The money that he earned by walking around the house is the money he used to buy his school supplies and be responsible in that manner. But that is just two little things I want to put out there. And women, you know, we have a long way to go, and we have the weapon, we have the power. So we need to brace up and make sure let's effect the change we want to see. Let's not just undervalue ourselves, because the way people see us outside is the way they're going to treat us. And again, don't let anybody narrate your story for you. Be your own voice, be your own person, be the storyteller of your life. And if you are going to be ashamed or shy to narrate your story, then you must be doing something wrong. So correct that now before it's too late. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, for on a final note, thank you so much. Well delivered. You just remind me of one thing that I want to share with the guys. Guys like Haman Balde watching, and guys here in the platform. I experienced a story like 2 weeks ago. I went to the grocery store, and I have this woman in front of me, shop already, pay for her grocery already, and she saw me with a brown sugar. And she said, "Oh, where is this brown sugar located? In the supermarket. Which aisle?" I said, "Hold on. Take my 2 brown sugar, and then I'll go get something too for my own." By the time I came, she already paid, and she ended up paying all my grocery. And the lady I told the lady when I was gonna pay, I told the lady, "How much is it?" She told me that this woman paid your grocery already. I said, "What?" And I froze right there. So guys, if you empower women, you will end up getting empowered. That is the final note.
I know.
Yeah, so I hope guys you learn from that. Hamang and others, take that secret. Thank you guys again, Lady Bah. Thank you for this wonderful time. I mean, it's a great conversation. Sam, Alice, you guys are great.
You're welcome.
And we're gonna have this again.
Thank you very much, Lady Bah.
Lady Bah.
Thank you, Lady Bah. Thank you.
You, guys.
Thank you all viewers. Thank you so much.
Better we wrap it up, and then
thank you.
because of time.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Take care, guys. Take care, everyone. Bye.